Andre, we did something, or I did something crazy, and that is I bought Toyota's first sports car.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Is it the Supra?
It's not a Supra.
86.
It's not an 86. It goes way back into the 60s. It's a car I bet most people know nothing about, and yet the world's biggest auto manufacturer has a sports car that they built back in the 60s that was actually, well, they tried to potentially import it to America, and this car has not one, not two, but three firsts.
But did they actually import it to
They
America?
did import it here, but then the dealers thought that it was too small. And so the story goes that they just basically somehow got rid of the ones that they imported. But I'll go into that in a second because this is a fascinating car, and I'll tell you the entire story because there's a long story on how I got to, because I had never heard of this car until this year either. But before we do that, people may be wondering, where's Tommy? Because you're the truck guy.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. This is TFL Car Chat. Where is Tommy?
Tommy just recorded Carish with the team, and he's kind of burned out on podcasts. So he wanted to go get some lunch, and so you were kind enough to step in here and take his place.
Actually, when Tommy does the Carish, he leaves nothing else on the table.
Those
he
guys
goes
are
100% like the rest of the team. And we're really thankful to have Cole here. I mean, he's been podcasting all day.
He's looking a little weary as well.
He's peckish.
A little worse for wear. Thank you, Cole, for coming in here. So besides Toyota's first sports car, we're also going to be talking about what we did this week, what we did in cars.
A lot happened, actually.
Yeah, we did something crazy. We took, Tommy bought a classic Jeep.
That's another reason why he's tired.
CJ2. Civilian Jeep 2A, I believe, and we took it into the TFL Mud Pit, which was an adventure because we had some guests here from out of state.
Yeah.
Thank God, because they had to rescue them.
Yeah.
And then we did a whole bunch of drag racing. So all that is coming up on this episode.
This is pretty cool.
Of TFL Car Chat.
And by the way, we thank you, our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/TFLCar. We're also live streaming this podcast. So it's also an opportunity for you to join, ask us questions in the chat room real time, live.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for making this possible. We couldn't do it without you. And we're really grateful that you take the time to watch or listen to our podcast. All right, Andre, so let's get to the Yota Hachi. That's what the Japanese call this car. The Yota Hachi, which stands for
what does that mean?
Toyota, Yoda.
Okay.
It's like, it's a Yoda, but I guess the Japanese say Yoda.
Yes.
We say Toyo, I mean.
Yes.
I guess the Japanese say Yoda. A Hachi means 8.
Eight. Why 8? So first of all, when you first told me this week, I had no idea about this car.
All right, so
and I consider myself an enthusiast and, car and truck person, and I didn't know anything about this.
So let me take you back in time to the spring when I was in Japan.
Rewind,
and I got to go to Toyota City, obviously the headquarters of Toyota, and they have a sort of classic center. It's not owned by Toyota, but it's kind of adjacent to Toyota. And they showed us some of the cars that they were...
Is this the Yota Hachi?
This is not the Yota Hachi.
Oh.
This is an interesting story. This is the Toyota Crown.
Okay, I know the Crown name.
I believe it's the Crown. If you go to the next picture, I think it'll say Crown. Yep, so it's a Toyota Crown.
Okay.
And this has a dubious distinction of being one of the first Toyotas imported into the United States. And if you go back to the other picture, you can tell it looks kind of like an old American Buick.
Yeah, or Chevy maybe, something.
And that's on purpose because at that point, Toyota was kind of, we had obviously won the war, so there were a lot of American servicemen in Japan, and so there was a lot of American car industry that influenced the Japanese. But they thought that this car could actually do well in America. And, Toyota has always been known for reliability.
Yeah, they have an eye for it.
Yes. And so when this car was made, and I believe this was like back in the 50s or very early 60s, they had this idea to bring it to America and actually sell it in America. And they had a publicity stunt. I think the ad agency came up with this crazy publicity stunt where they were going to drive this from Los Angeles to New York.
Great idea.
Just to show, everybody knows Toyota today is...
Was this in the 60s as well?
This was like late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody knows that Toyota has, like I said, this incredible reputation for reliability. So they brought the car over. They got the news people together, the version of us.
Like we weren't there, personally.
No. And they said, we're going to launch this thing from LA, and next stop is New York.
Okay.
They made it to Vegas before it broke down.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's as far as it got.
Well, that's a good place to break down, actually.
No, I mean, it broke down before Vegas.
Okay.
But that's as far as it got before it like terminally broke down, where it couldn't go any farther.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're thinking Toyota, is known for its reliability.
Well, this was like 70 years ago.
Yeah, back in the day, not so much.
By the way, looking at the rear of this car, so we were looking at the picture of the kind of the tail lamps and the trunk and the rear section. It reminds me of a couple things. It reminds me of something British. Also, the Soviet, there was a Moskvich. Remember those old Moskvich cars with vertical tail lamps like that? I think there's a lot of designs that were very similar in those years where people kept copying each other, right?
Yeah, it was
just copy.
We're still doing that today.
Yeah, we still do that today.
But it was probably more obvious back then. I like the rear glass. It's kind of interesting the way
really curved.
Yeah, the way it's really curved. So this did not sell very well.
That was not a success.
No, it was not a success. And many people out there, if you're classic car aficionados, especially JDM cars, you may know about this car. I'm, of course, talking about the 2000 GT. The
I know this.
Toyota
Yes.
2000 GT.
I know this.
Why don't we show a picture of that? So
That is gorgeous.
So what makes this car famous? What brought this car to worldwide attention? This was built in, I think, 65.
I want to say, is it aerodynamics? Is it amazing design?
No.
Is it the powertrain?
No.
Is it the lights?
No.
I'll
give you a hint. They chopped the top off of it because the person driving it was too tall and couldn't fit in it.
Oh.
Does that give you a hint? Cole, any hints? Nope. No, it was never built as a convertible, but they chopped the top off of it.
Related to a person who would drive it?
It's related to a person who would drive it, and it's related to a movie. What's the most famous movie franchise where cars play an integral role? I'm not talking about Fast and Furious.
007.
Exactly. So
James Bond.
So this car was featured in a 007. Can you Google it, Cole, which 007 the 2000 GT was featured in? And I think it was, what's his name? Was it You Never Live Twice? There you go. Sean Connery, You Never Live Twice. And there is a car.
Oh, Sean. Yes, our friend.
And if you can make it bigger in one of the pictures, you'll note, there you go, that's a good picture of it. You'll note that it's a convertible.
It's a very attractive car, fit for James Bond.
Except it was never built as a convertible. So
I see it.
He was too tall. He couldn't fit in it.
Very handsome, by the way.
Very well. Him or the car?
Him.
Okay.
Sean Connery, I'm talking about.
So they chopped the top off so that he could drive it, and that's how the car became worldwide worldly known and famous. They only built about 300 of these. And it is said, and I, if you know better than me, please correct me, but it is said that Akio Toyoda, the CEO of Toyota, or the chairman of the board now, actually owns 2 of these cars out of the 300 in the world. And he keeps one here in America, and he has one in Japan. So he has 2 of them. And they sell for around, a base one like $1 million, and a more expensive one probably 1.5. So, scarcity. And of course, movie fame, and of course, being a Toyota. So people think that this is the first Toyota sports car. Show them. There's that picture in the bottom of the front headlights. Cole, can you zoom out?
It's got pop-up headlamps as well.
Yeah, but go to the one where they're not popped up. Go to the one, that one. So look at the front headlights on that, and hold that thought. Now go back to that historic.
But wait, before we move on, this almost looks also British to me. Almost like a Jaguar. You know what I'm saying? Like
Very
good.
It was meant to compete with the Jaguar E-Type.
Yeah, it looks very of the same kind of flavor.
And actually, I did some research on this car, and back in the day, the Jaguar, I want to say, sold for like $6,000 US. This sold for about $7.5 US. And then the Porsche 911, which it competed against as well, sold for like $9,000. So if you were buying this in the 60s, the Jaguar would have been the cheapest. The Toyota would have been in the middle, and the Porsche would have been the most expensive. And if you look at Porsche prices and Jaguar E prices today, you should have bought the Toyota because that by far exceeded the value.
Well, there was not many made.
Yeah, only 300 ish. So, I mean, an E-Type, a good one, probably sells between 40 and 60. I'm not sure what like 60s 911 prices are, but they're not 1.5 million. I promise you, they're probably in the hundreds of thousands, or maybe top out at 100,000. But this would have been the one you should have bought back in '65 if you wanted to hold on to it and have the most valuable car. Now, keep in mind those headlights. Now, Cole, go back to that picture of the Classic Restoration Center in Toyota City.
Okay, there it is.
There was another car there that I saw, and it's this car. Do those headlights look familiar?
Yeah, very similar. The lower part of the 2000 GT looked very similar to this.
Yep, and then there's another picture of one. There you go.
Aha.
So this is called the Sports 800.
Okay.
And it is Toyota's very first sports car.
So this came before
1960-ish, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2000 GT about 65. This was built from like 60 to about 65. And it has 3 distinctions. Now, this is the first time I saw the car. First and foremost, these cars are tiny. You saw the one we bought.
Yeah, and I walked up to it. This was just yesterday. And like we've recently had the original Mini, right? We have a Fiat 500. Mm-hmm. And this, in my mind, looks almost, because it's shorter. It's shorter than the Fiat 500 Cinquecento. It's tiny.
It's tiny. And so there's 3 distinctions that it has, and we'll show you ours in a second. The number one, I've already said, it's Toyota's very first sports car, which I think is significant because, world's biggest car manufacturer. This is the
genesis of
beginning,
it.
Yeah. The taproot of where everything that is today Supra, that is, the Lexus LFA, this is where it began, right there. This is the start of it.
I'm now afraid because did you pay $1 million for this car?
No, I'll tell you how much we paid in a second. I'm going to make you wait for that. They're not as expensive as you think. Especially given that they built only about 3,000 of these. Okay. And it's estimated there are only about 300 left. And that was actually the scary part of buying this because you cannot get parts for this. There are
you
no
cannot
parts.
go to your local Toyota dealer?
No, there are no parts for this. None. You have to either fabricate them, and I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about glass. I'm talking about
fenders.
I'm talking about engine. Oh, you skipped ahead there, Cole. Well, we gave them a little peek of what's coming.
Yes.
So I'm a little worried because if it breaks, we ain't fixing it.
Well, we know some good people,
but we can't.
Mechanics.
We don't know fabricators. We could probably fix the mechanical part.
David can fix anything.
Okay. He can bodge anything.
Okay.
I'm not sure he can fix this because this has got to be fixed right. Anyway, so that's number one. Number two, if you look at that top, that is a Targa top.
Really?
So it's the world's first Targa top. People think it's the Porsche 911 Targa. This beat it by about a year.
So James Bond should have driven this car.
I sat in it, and I kind of... we don't have the top on ours.
Yeah.
And that's because I don't think I would fit with the top on. So first Targa.
It's small.
And then it's got a third distinction, and that is it's the first Japanese sports car ever to be sold both in left and right-hand drive.
Really? Okay.
And the reason for that is at the time, and still today I believe, there was a large contingent of American soldiers on Okinawa, and Toyota thought that this would be a car that they could sell to them. So they built it in both right and left-hand drive. So
is ours left-hand drive?
It's a JDM. It came from Japan. So it's a left-hand drive model. Sorry, right-hand drive. Right. The left-hand drives are more valuable because there's so few of them, even though there's only like 300 of these left. All right, shall we go and show them the ones that we bought?
Yes.
Let's show you guys what we ended up buying. So this is the one that we bought. I've got 3 pictures of it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yes.
So there's the front of it. I like the little yellow light in the grill.
Oh, yeah, I can see that now.
How cool is that, huh?
It's almost like a little rally car.
Yeah. So this doesn't have the original tires and wheels. The original wheels were so tiny. I think they were 13-inch wheels. So a lot of people did this swap where they put the Mazda Miata wheels on it. So those are Mazda Miata wheels. First, I think the NA wheels. And then the previous owner, Charlie, a friend of mine here who runs a Toyota garage, who sold it to us, actually took the little bumperettes off. So if you remember the red car, it had these little like bumperettes. We're missing those bumperettes. Charlie's still looking for them, so I want them because obviously this is such a unique car. But you can see the Targa top there.
Yeah, because the top is removed.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten inside of this car yet. I haven't been able to, to start it or anything like that. But it just looks super cool. By the way, if I saw this at a Cars and Coffee from a distance, I would have no idea it was a Toyota.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
It doesn't. It just does. Well, you see the T on the
Yeah.
on the steering wheel.
But I'm
there.
not used to seeing that symbol per se.
And then there is the back end of it, and you can see that glass is really cool.
Why is everything looks like a fisheye picture?
Maybe Tommy took it with the fisheye lens. I
Okay,
don't know. But this is a running and driving example. Now it's interesting because it is a 2-cylinder boxer engine.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Back in the day, this would have been like
So-
a Porsche 2-cylinder boxer, puts out a total of 44 horsepower. Now, when Toyota did this car, Nissan also had a sports car, and so did Honda. And so they were competing against the Nissan and the Honda, except Honda had an engine out of one of their motorcycles, so they did not have an engine that produced enough horsepower. Like I said, this thing, new was making 44 horsepower. By the way, guess how much it weighs?
2,000 pounds.
1,300.
1,300 pounds?
Yeah, and so one of the things that Toyota did to try to keep it competitive with the Nissan, actually Datsun at the time, if I'm being precise, which
Yeah.
it should be, was they wanted to lightweight it. And so the hood, the targa, and the trunk are all made of aluminum.
Okay, now, because it's aluminum, it would be harder to fix.
Yes.
Steel, most people know how to weld steel. Aluminum is a little bit more involved. I mean, now you're working with a softer metal, basically.
And there's some other cool things about this car. So the designer came from Datsun.
Okay.
And the engineer who did it, the chief engineer, was a Toyota engineer, and he was from the aerospace industry. At that time, he was a plane engineer. And so if you look at it, you can see that it's super aerodynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why there's aluminum used, and even the seats, there's aluminum used in the construction of the car because that came right out of the aerospace industry. So even though they didn't have a motor that was powerful enough to compete with the Datsun at the time, they did have the
Lightness
aerodynamics
on their side.
and lightness on their side.
Yeah.
Now, they borrowed the designer from Datsun at the time. So this was actually designed by a Datsun designer. And then I believe eventually he went on to work at Toyota for a long time. And he has another distinction, and that is he also designed the world's most popular car. You know what that is? People think it's a Beetle. It's not.
The Corolla.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, so he did this, and he did the first Corolla. And Corolla has sold something like, I could be wrong, we could Google it, but it's either 30 or 50 million Corollas in the world,
Yeah.
which way outsells the Beetle. And so that is by far the world's most popular car. So he did that as well.
That's amazing. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Have you driven it already?
I have not driven it yet.
Wow.
We just picked it up. Tommy just brought it over, so I have yet to drive it, but I have sat in it, and I fit. I thought I'd be looking out the top of the A pillar, but actually I'm looking through the glass. The only problem is that my back of my head hits the back of the
the Targa section
of
there.
the Targa section there. Yeah, so I think in a car accident it might cut my head in half.
Well, if you are facing a Super Duty in this car,
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of chances.
Yeah, it's hard to describe how tiny it is.
Yeah.
People
So-
think it's a K car. I'm not sure it's a K car. I don't.
It's not as tiny as that.
No, it's not as
Or
tiny.
maybe
I don't
close.
I don't think it's as tiny as. I don't think it was. I don't think that there were K cars around yet when this was done.
So now 800, I'm assuming now it refers to the displacement of the engine.
Exactly, 799 cc's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because K vehicles, K cars, K vans, they I think are usually 660, right? cc.
Yep.
So this is a little bit larger engine than a K vehicle would be.
So we did a little. Tommy did a little like TikTok video, a little short, and he put it up there, and people are saying it's a K car. It's not a K car. I think this like I said, it precedes the K cars in Japan, and the engine is too big anyway. It's 799 cc's.
It's a huge displacement engine.
It's a
We also have a Viper
Yeah.
with 8,000 cc's.
8 liters, yeah, the exact opposite. We got the yin and yang of sports cars. The other cool thing about it is it will apparently cruise at 100 kilometers all day long
So 60 miles an hour is not a problem.
with the top speed of 100 miles an hour.
Okay.
So it'll get up to 100 miles an hour, and apparently what I've read about it and what I've seen in there's not a lot of videos on it because it's such a rare car. they will, go up to about 100 miles an hour, and they're pretty rock solid. The problem with them is that they only build 3,000, and it's estimated that there's only 10% of them left in the world because, of course, the steel at that time in Japan wasn't exactly galvanized, wasn't exactly thick, and so many of them rusted away, and then the ones that didn't rust away were used as parts for the ones that were still alive because, like I say, you're not going to find that boxer. It's not going to be easy to replace. And in Japan, they're much loved. So, like I said, the nickname for them is Yoda Hachi or Toyota 8, and even though it's a Sport 800.
Yeah.
So I am over the moon, my man, that we've got this because I feel like out of all the cars that we bought, this is the first real classic car.
It's got real history.
That is
with
significant. Yeah.
Does it? Do you know? Does it have a VIN? Does it have any a serial number that you could
got a
trace
VIN.
back, or
It's got a VIN, but it's very short. It's not
4 digits, maybe 5 digits, 6?
I think if you're thinking about doing a Carfax, you're probably barking up the wrong tree. So it came from Japan. It was imported from Japan. Charlie, I think that they think that there's maybe a dozen of these things in America, or more, but not a lot. Like I say, it came from Japan. Charlie, who we used to fix our Toyotas, he's a Toyota mechanic. This was kind of his dream car. And we ended up trading. He loves quirky cars.
Okay.
Charlie loves crazy
Well, this is
quirky
also
cars.
kind of quirky.
This is quirky.
Yeah.
So we ended up trading our 2CV, our 2CV.
So the Citroën is gone?
The Citroën is gone.
Okay.
So we traded that plus some cash. We basically paid $27,000 for it, which is what the last one sold for on Bring a Trailer, which was a right-hand drive. The last left-hand drive that sold on Bring a Trailer, and there's 3 of these that have been sold in America on Bring a Trailer, period. That sold for $40,000. So it's worth anywhere from $27,000 to $40,000. But I think over time, this being
It would gain value.
it will gain value. Yeah. So the coolest thing are those headlights. There's glass. There's glass. In front.
It's aerodynamic.
Yeah.
It's covered,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm just thinking to myself, if you break that glass, good luck, right? Because you're never going to get that glass.
What
again.
about a windshield? I mean, that's another. I mean, I know people. You can order custom windshields. You can order custom. I mean, now you can make anything, right? You could 3D print things.
Well, when we were trying to insure it with our friends at Haggerty,
Yes.
and we went to put it in there, and usually they have all the classic. No, that wasn't one of the things.
No, it wasn't a choice.
No, it wasn't
for
a choice.
Sports 800.
No, there's no Sports 800 in the Haggerty. Like I say, there may be a half a dozen of these things in America.
Haggerty eventually. When I also insure, this is not a Haggerty commercial, by the way.
No, it's not. We're not a Haggerty company. So,
No,
but
I
we just use
insured
them.
my buhanka, my loaf of bread with them too.
Did they have it
No,
in there?
no, they did not. They had the SUV version, the little
Right.
Jeep version of it, but now they have also a van version of it.
So there you have it. There's TFL's newest classic, and I think this may be a truly significant classic. Where
I can't wait to hear it run.
it kind of sounds like the 2CV. It's got that very similar sound. It's very quiet. It sounds like a.
But it's
like a
4-stroke,
Duchevaux.
right? So it's not
it's
like
a
a two-stroke.
It's a two-stroke.
It is a
No,
two-stroke?
it's a 4-stroke. Sorry, it is
Okay.
a 4-stroke. Yeah, 4-stroke. Yeah, 4-stroke. So it's not like.
And it's a boxer. It's a boxer.
It's a boxer, two-cylinder, 4-stroke.
So basically the cylinders are horizontal, right? And they're just kind of pushing.
Yeah, they're low in the body to keep your your center of gravity low. And if I don't have a picture of the engine bay, but if you were to look at the engine bay, it looks like you could fit a Chevy LS in there because that engine looks it's teeny tiny. It's also manual, of course, which is great. Yeah, I mean, if you zoom in on the gauges, it's very basic. So you can tell you've got a kilometer meter there for kilometers.
Oh, I see a 5,000 RPM red line.
Yeah.
Starting at 5.
One seatbelt for the driver.
The passenger doesn't need one, do they?
No, and this being Japan in the 60s, of course, the most important thing is you do have an ashtray and a cigarette lighter.
Absolutely.
Of course, you can.
Absolutely.
And then you got all your temperatures there. You can see them in the middle. So tachometer, speedometer, and I think that T was Toyota's old logo.
Logo, yeah.
Because it doesn't say Toyota anywhere on the car. It just it's just a Sports 800.
Like I said, I would not recognize it as a Toyota if I came up to it at first.
And if you look at the door there, you can see that it's a little wonky. All the seals are pretty bad. So we bought it. We bought new. Charlie has a new seals for it, so we're gonna have to get some seals. So it's I think it's been repainted a bunch. I mean, these cars have not had. This is a driver. This is not,
This is not a trailer queen.
this is not a trailer queen. And I forget how many kilometers it had. I think it was around like 90,000 maybe or 80,000, so about 50,000 miles.
That's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. I don't know if you can see it on there. But
I see 8 something, but I don't think that. I think that may be a trip odometer, not the total odometer.
yeah.
So yeah,
So it's kind of rough in some ways, but for being such a significant car for Toyota, I'm just, like I said, over the moon to actually have one.
and it's got a connection to the 2000 in a way, a little bit of a
Yeah.
styling connection.
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
yeah. You can Google Pro. No, it's called the Publica, the Toyota Publica. I think it's Publica concept. That's where it came from. Concept.
Oh.
So go. Yeah.
Wow.
So the Publica, go to the black and white one.
Wow, it looks like a little cartoon car.
Yeah. So the Publica was Toyota's kind of like basic runaround car. So it had the same engine as this. And when they built the concept, you could see that they did like almost. This is in the '60s, right? They did like a sliding top.
Yeah, that kind of moves backwards.
It kind of moves backwards
Yes,
and forward.
I see it.
And that's where the Sports 800 came from. But because they only had the same engine that was in the Publica, which is this little tiny boxer, 44 horsepower, then they decided that the sliding top was going to be too heavy and the car wasn't going to be very fast if they kept that mechanism. So they created the Target Top, and that's where the Target Top got started.
I gotcha.
Yeah. It's got kind of a cool
Makes
history.
a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that what year was the auto show? Was this like 1960? I think that was at the Tokyo Motor Show shown in the 1960s, and that's where it came from. Does it tell you? It should say in the wiki page.
First sports car.
Yeah.
I love the grill too. The grill has a little bit of character to it as well.
So anyway.
Oh, look, it says the Publica was inspired by the Citroën 2CV.
What? How crazy is that? Yeah.
Which also used a 2-cylinder.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so now I see where Charlie is coming from.
Yeah, and our 2CV also had most TVs were 600 cc's. Ours was also the bigger 800. So
Charlie traded this same engine for the same engine.
Yeah, exactly. Except the 2CV is ginormous compared to the Yodahachi.
Yes. Very cool.
So Tommy's, I guess there's one guy who lives in Northwestern America who knows all about these cars. So Tommy wants to get some more information from him before we do the video, and that is coming soon to TFL Classics. But let's talk about the video that's on TFL Classics this weekend. So if you're listening to this over the weekend, you should head over to All TFL and check out this video because Tommy did something crazy.
But wait.
Yes.
Jonathan is here in the chat room. Thank you, Jonathan. He was asking a little bit more about the car. What year is our...
I think it's a 65, maybe. I could be wrong.
65.
Or I think. I don't know. That's a good question.
So Tommy's going to do a full video about this.
Yes.
Yeah. So no worries. You'll get all the details and with the experts and everything else.
The good news, being a 65, we don't have to smog it.
Thank goodness.
1976 is the cutoff, so we don't have to worry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this weekend we're going to publish a really fun video that you were part of as well. I was there. So Tommy did something crazy. He went and bought a 1946 CJ. I think is a 2A. So CJ stands for Civilian Jeep, and we did something he did something that I know I was very proud of him for doing because it's very difficult to do this. And we did this with a guest who came up from Texas. Thank God. So you want to tell this story because I just told the Yoda Hachi story. Why don't you tell the story of what Tommy did and what the guest did?
Well, first of all, I was a little bit surprised by Tommy's purchase
because there's a picture of it there. Cole, I sent it to you.
I was a little surprised about the Jeep because we have another wheelies Jeep. We have a 1945, right? Which is pristine military spec, amazing machine that we have. And then also what happened about the same time is a very nice gentleman, Charlie, reached out to us, a different Charlie, Charlie from Texas. And he said, I have some cool trucks. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is coming up. And he has a Supercharged F-150, and he has a recovery truck. He owns a towing business, towing and recovery, Miller.
We're showing that right now.
Yeah. So the red truck, if you're watching us, you can kind of see a Super Duty. This is an F-350 pickup truck, but it's also modified as a tow vehicle. So it's got a giant hydraulic crane in the bed. It still has the bed, and it's got many different winches. And Charlie and his wife, Cindy, came out all the way from basically Houston, which is 1,000 miles away.
I just airdropped you that little video that we cut, Cole, so you have it.
Yeah, and we were going to do some videos with Charlie, right? Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, Tommy says, I want to take my new Jeep CJ2A into the mud pit. And I was wondering if that was a good decision because it's deep. Very deep.
Yeah, let me give you some background on this. So we have a military Jeep, right? We have a World War II Jeep.
Yes.
So the last year that the military Jeep was built was 1945.
Yes.
And so we have a completely restored World War II Willys, or do you say Willis?
And you've seen videos with this.
You've seen videos with this. And obviously that one being completely restored is very nice, and we don't want to put it in harm's way. These military Jeeps are getting rare, and that's a true American classic. And so out of the blue, Tommy decided to buy the next year of production, which is the first year they built a civilian Jeep. I think that's the first year. I could be wrong. But so they built, obviously, this Jeep, which looks just like the military Jeep and has basically the same powertrain. It's basically the military Jeep without, all of the military stuff.
Yeah, like the headlamps are slightly different.
A little bit bigger.
And it's a different color, right? So it's not the same military color, basically.
Yeah, like they moved the gas filler from under the seat to the side, so you didn't have to lift up the seat because the gas tank is still in the seat. So he bought this thing from a guy who bought it from a farmer in Colorado, and I gotta say, he paid $5,000 for this, and he'll say this himself. He did not get the best version, or he bought it as a project.
But I don't think he was looking for a pristine example. Was he?
I don't think he was looking for a pristine example. I don't think he was looking for a vehicle that had this many issues. So the guy converted it from 6 volt to 12 volt, which is nice, but it almost started on fire because apparently the fuel gauge, Tommy said he touched the fuel gauge and he burned his fingers because apparently the fuel gauge does not work with a 12 volt system or the way it was set up. The engine was kind of running on 3 cylinders, sort of, kind of.
And then Case was there too, filming with Tommy, and Case told me that he touched one of the spark plug wires and felt electricity running through it. So it was like arcing, basically.
And then the transmission pops out a second, which is a common problem, so that's bad. But perhaps the worst thing about it is there's just a lot of rust in the tub.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like Tommy wants to do this as a project vehicle and spend the winter restoring it. But, a new tub for this costs about $3,000, give or take. I think the engine is sort of solid, but he's going to have to get a new transmission or have that rebuilt.
But then he put it underwater too.
Well, then we're getting to that.
Yeah.
The tires are kind of bald. I mean, he's got a Jeep here that he could put easily $10,000-$15,000 into. That's going to be a $10,000 Jeep.
But don't tell his wife though.
I'm not
tell his wife.
She's not listening. Morgan, never mind. You put $2,000 into it. It's a $5,000 Jeep that'll be worth $20,000.
She's not listening, is she?
Good. No, I hope not. Anyway, so he bought himself quite the project, and he was brave. But Case was brave to take it through the TFL model. Should we show them the video?
Yeah, let's show them a little taste.
Yeah, why don't you roll the video? So there they go.
First of all, they go sideways a little bit.
Yeah.
And then this does not have locking differentials.
No open diffs.
But these CJs are known to be absolute monsters.
So if
goats.
you're not watching this on YouTube, Tommy is in this giant mid pile, and now Case is driving, and he got out of the first hole, and there they go into the second hole. And keep in mind that this is now up to like the open doors of the Jeep, and actually Case makes it through. And Tommy
he's wearing waders on purpose because he knew this was happening.
And then they go into the third hole, which was very deep, and the thing goes blip, 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 blip.
And it kind of dies.
Well, it's still running there. You can see
it's running.
The water.
And I had flashbacks to my experience in Utah from a decade ago, where I kind of almost drowned in a Humvee.
Now, Case just put his feet up because Tommy's driving, and Case is passengering, and water is now filling the
inside.
Yeah, because we're up to the top of the wheels, and then they're wondering what they should do, and we're like, you know what, just turn it off. Don't get water into the engine. And then this is where your friend comes in with his wrecker.
Yeah, Charlie and his F-350 and his winches and his cranes. Well, this is not very heavy, right? The CJ2A was, 2,000 pounds maybe?
Yep.
So they were able to easily winch it out. And there's another thing that I kind of forgot about when we were kind of doing this. When you stop the engine and the exhaust pipe is underwater, water starts to come in the exhaust system, right? So now the exhaust system is fully filled with water. So then when they restarted the Jeep, you could see the water leaking out of the little pipe. Exhaust pipe. So,
yeah, but that may have been water getting in. I think a lot of the exhaust doesn't come out that little hole at the end. I think that exhaust system is so rusted through that it may have gotten in underneath, from like what was left of the muffler.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that was actually getting into the.
So we did not improve the Jeep by doing this.
No, and what makes these Jeeps so incredible off-road, they're flat fenders, right? Because there's a whole flat. Rick Payway is probably the best known flat fender guy.
Yeah.
He goes to Easter Jeep Safari, good friend of the channel. He has a bunch of these. They've got these little Hurricane. Go Devil Hurricane. I think they eventually got a Hurricane. Right?
Eventually, it was called Hurricane, I believe.
But these were the Go Devil engines that were from the military Jeeps, so they're not very powerful. They're 4-cylinder engines.
But they're tough. Really supposed to be tough, right?
But what makes these things so incredible is that they're so light. It's like when you're, in motorsports, lightness makes for better performance, and these are about as light as a Jeep as you can get. Now, there is no roll bar, so God help you if you roll it.
Yeah.
It's still
you got to pop out. You got to jump out and run away.
I hope you can run away from the rolling Jeep.
Yeah.
So that was our misadventure, and we did 2 videos that day. You want to tell about the second video, because that was kind of your video?
Yeah. Because Charlie Miller and I were driving the F-350, which is a pretty massive truck, and we did the whole video. I wanted to learn about his truck and also take it through the same obstacle, right? And his truck weighs almost 10,000 pounds. If that Jeep weighs 2,000, this F-350, all with the crane inside of it, weighs 5 times as much. And actually, we got a little bit hung up in one of those obstacles in the mud pit. But we got out. I mean, he's got, of course, 4-low rear locking differential. But this Jeep, as small as it is, Roman, and as light as it is, it just made it look simpler, going up and down until it, of course, stopped. And, of course, the Ford was able to go through all this stuff and pull out the Jeep.
And Tommy, if you saw in the video, wore waders.
Yes.
Because he knew that the Jeep was going to get wet, and he knew that the thing didn't have enough ground clearance to not get water into it. The problem was he didn't wear like the traditional waders, which were like overalls. Right.
Well, they go up to his waist, kind of crotch area.
Yeah, and then at the end of this, he took them off, and basically they're filled with water because when he was pushing Case up, through that first mud pit,
yes,
he managed to fall in.
Well, it was really slick.
Yeah, it was slick.
Of course.
Yeah. So it was quite the TFL misadventure. And then if you guys out there have any tips or a CJ2. A transmission that you want,
or an exhaust system,
or a tub, or a donor Jeep, because these things aren't that expensive. So you got his for $5, but there's a pristine one that a lot of people converted these into military Jeeps, right? So they made them look like a military Jeep. There's one on Craigslist right now that someone's selling for $10. Okay. And I was almost tempted, like, Tommy, just buy the $10,000 one. And then
but I think that's not the point. He wants to tinker, right? He wants to tinker with it.
Yes, he does, and so does Case. So they're both super excited. I just have a hard time wrapping my head around, doing this when you could buy one for a lot less that is already done. But that's just me, so I can't blame Tommy.
Well, they have time on their side.
Yes,
maybe.
youth on their side.
Youth and time.
Yes.
Yes.
So they can do a lot more without thinking that they're missing out on stuff in life.
Yeah.
They have a lot of life still that they can enjoy. So let's go to the other video that we did, and that is we went and did 3 drag races this week. One
Yeah,
of
we
them
did.
will also be up
And
on.
the week is not done yet.
No, week is
Yeah.
not done. Why don't you show them the first one, and then we'll tell you what it is. So let's just roll that drag race. So as you can see, we've got 2
Here's the
vehicles.
team.
And unlike most TFL videos, these 2 cars actually compete. You want to tell them what they are?
So on loan this week, we had a new GR Corolla, which is a hot hatch.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. This is a 6-speed manual, really sporty car, 3-cylinder engine, 300 horsepower, very, very sweet. And our producer, Zach, recently purchased a Subaru WRX, which is not a hatchback per se, but kind of in a similar vein, in a similar class as this GR Corolla.
Now they compete, right? Because they're both hot hatches, so to speak.
Ish. They're both all-wheel drive.
They're both all-wheel drive. One's a 3-cylinder.
another one is a 4.
4-cylinder boxer.
Yes.
And I believe that the Corolla has more horsepower than
Yes.
the WRX.
Yes. And I wasn't there, actually, so I have no idea what happened as far as racing is concerned.
Well, let's roll that video and show them what happened so you can see. It was a surprise. Keep in mind, we're a mile above sea level, but I think they're both turbos, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so 3.
Yep.
Okay, so there they go.
I see the GR Corolla jumped ahead, but the Subaru is keeping up.
Even though it has less horsepower.
I see. Okay.
All right.
It's hard to tell from this angle.
And luckily, Andre, just because of that, I have another angle. So, Cole, if you go to like the third one, we have another angle at it. I think it's that one.
Okay.
Okay, so that's me shooting it from the finish line.
No, this is a roll race.
No.
I'm
No,
afraid.
go. I think you want one too many. Go back one video.
This is a roll race.
It might be that one. Yeah.
Oh,
That's the one.
I see. I see.
So that's it from the finish line. So here
Okay, they're
come.
coming towards you.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And
Wow, it's close. No way. Are we allowed to say what happened?
Yeah, sure.
Subaru won.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm surprised because Subaru has less power.
yeah, yeah. I know it's a shocker. And
Okay.
I think the reason. Yeah, why don't you roll back just a little bit and you can kind of see. So there goes the Subaru. It's pretty close.
Maybe by a couple of car lengths.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of car lengths.
There's the Subaru crossing the finish line first.
Uh-huh.
And
One,
here comes the GR Corolla.
2, 3,
3 car lengths.
maybe 3.
And the reason for this is because it's almost impossible to launch that GR Corolla. It just always bogs.
Okay.
You just can't get.
No matter how high you're revving it up.
It won't allow you. It won't. No, you can rev it up. So we did a race with this last week. I forgot what I raced now with it.
You raced me in the Viper.
In the Viper.
Yes.
And Kay said you got to just be cruel to the car and you got to drop the clutch.
Which is hard for us to do.
Which is hard. I have a lot of mechanical sympathy, but I did. I took up the RPM to like 5,000, and then we dropped the clutch, and it didn't take off. It just bogged. And so once it gets going, it starts to walk on the Subaru, but it's too late. If the race was another half a mile, the GR would be ahead.
But I think the point of the GR Corolla is really not straight line speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really the point, and also the WRX to some extent, is curves, right? These cars love going around curves, being maybe on a track or mountain road as well. So that's the strength of that
Now,
car.
we had a previous GR Corolla at the office, and Case was able to drop the clutch on that one. And so we did some digging, and people in the comments are saying these newer ones you can't like drop the clutch on, or there may have been something wrong with the one that we have because it really did seem to underperform compared to the previous one. So I don't know, Andre. We'll publish that video, but I just don't know. And now the other race we did, and I think there's another one there, Cole. I think I shot that one too, the last one.
Because the Supra was also there, right?
Yeah, so we also had a Supra. So we did another race.
This is a final edition Supra because the Supra as it is now is basically going away, right?
Yeah. So stop it for a sec. Go back again. Don't show them the finish yet. So what we wanted to do was race the GR Corolla against the Supra, which we did, and you could probably guess which one won.
I'm guessing the Supra because the Supra has way more power. 382
horsepower. Yeah. You know, that's a lot more. And then we brought our C8 Stingray.
Did you have to?
Yes, we had to.
Okay.
And we wanted to race the Stingray against the Supra.
It kind of makes sense because on paper, both of those cars are kind of under 4 seconds, 0 to 60.
Yes.
And they should be pretty comparable.
Well, okay, they're not that comparable because the Stingray has at least 100 more horsepower.
Yes.
But we are at a mile above sea level.
And Corvette does not have a turbo.
And the Stingray is naturally aspirated, like you said, whereas the Supra is a turbocharged, 3-liter.
Straight six.
And it's blindingly fast. So going into it on paper, we thought that the Supra could potentially take the Corvette.
Yes.
I think weight-wise, it's also lighter.
They're similar.
It's similar,
or maybe
but
lighter.
It's just a tad lighter than the Corvette. So we thought, well, let's give it a shot. So this first race, I believe, was the one where we didn't use launch control. We just floored it. So roll the video, Cole. Let's show them what happened here. So the Supra's closest to the camera. Here they come, across the line.
It looks like Corvette is ahead.
Quite a bit.
Yes, but once again, like 2 or 3 lengths, maybe?
2 or 3 lengths. Let's roll it again slower so you can kind of see the finish line. So we did the non-launch control. Like I said, they both have launch control drag race. And the Corvette just
won this one. By the way, the Supra was also the automatic version of it.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, they're both automatic.
Because there is also a Supra with a manual.
Yeah. And speaking of the Supra, that's the final edition, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that cheap. I want to say it's $71,000 and change. And we paid $72,000 because our Corvette's a 2020. So price-wise,
they're the same price almost.
They're the same price. Yeah. I don't know. I think if I had enough money and we were not doing this business, we were just buying cars, I would purchase a Supra because I think it's underrated and I think it's going to appreciate. Not the automatic one, but the manual one. I think when it first came out, here's the problem with the Supra. I was at the launch of the Supra and it first came out, people were just rubbed the wrong way that basically it wasn't built by Toyota, so it's built by Magna in Austria.
Well, when you open the door on the new Supra and you look inside, you could see some switchgear from a BMW.
Yeah, so basically. It's built on the same line as the BMW Z4. It has the same engine. It has the BMW and obviously powertrain. It has the BMW shifter. It has a lot of BMW infotainment. And so it was kind of people were saying like this is kind of this unholy alliance between two companies, and people wanted Toyota, like with the Sports 800, to actually create their own car, like the Mark IV Supra, right?
Yes,
the one in Fast and Furious.
The original.
The original one that everybody knows.
Well, not the original, but
so this was 4 years ago now.
Yes.
And people were, platform sharing. People were just not happy about it. But over those 4 years, that the engine in the Supra has proved to be incredibly tunable, just like the Mark IV was. And I forget what the Mark IV engine.
2JZ engines, which are the famous engines.
Yes. So that there is similarities, and as time has marched on, and as manuals have died, you can't get one in a lot of cars.
And Supra brought back the manual. Yes.
All of a sudden, this car is starting to have a lot of buzz around it. And I'm thinking, you remember when the last 200 series Toyota Land Cruiser came out?
Yes.
The Heritage Edition?
Yes.
That never went down in price.
No. And I think they're still the same price, right?
Yeah, those were like $80,000, $90,000. And if you want to get one that's like whatever it is now, 2 years old, you're still going to pay $80,000, $90,000. Yeah. I think that may be the same case with this, especially if you get the final edition Supra with the manual. The caveat there is you have to get the manual if you want the value.
Something interesting happened after the race. We were going back to the office.
Yes.
And I saw, our videographer Ian was also behind the wheel. And I knew Ian was behind me in the Supra. But then I saw an identical car in front of me. And I thought Ian has passed me, but it was not possible in my mind. It was an identical car somebody else was driving, which was red with black wheels. It looked like a final edition. You don't see many Supras on a day-to-day basis.
Especially not in Colorado.
Yeah,
you might see more like LA.
Yeah, probably. But there's two identical Supras driving next to me on the way home. That was quite special. But the other car had a custom exhaust pipe. People tune them. People tune a lot of them.
So Jordan says the Supra does not deserve all the hate it gets. I couldn't agree more, dude. I think that the car is a much better car. Now, I do have some complaints about it, and it's the same complaint I've had ever since they built it. First and foremost, the roof line kind of comes down on the side. So I look into the roof when I look, and this would keep me from actually buying the car. In order to get into it, I almost have to do like one of those police moves, where they put your head down to get you in the back seat. But,
Yes.
because I almost have to do that to myself, because
Yes.
otherwise I hit my head. And it could be because I'm like old and no longer limber, but it also could be because I've got a tall body, and it's like the Miata. It's just built for shorter people. How about you? How do you fit in it?
I don't fit very well into it either.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's another issue. But I mean, there's many other people who do fit in it. So
You're
but-
6'3", so you're an inch taller than me.
Yeah. So, but for tall people, it's not really the car for them.
Yeah, I agree, and that's a shame because over the last 3 or 4 years, I've really gotten to like the car. I think that the styling is unusual. I mean, in that video we showed with the Corvette, it's the exact diametrical opposite. It's kind of bold
It's curvy.
and round and curvy.
It's curvy. Yeah.
Whereas the Corvette is like jet fighter and all intersecting horizontal, vertical lines.
I think they nailed the styling of it. The styling was.
Do you like the styling? Which one would you rather have if you had one? Because they're both the same price. Which would you buy if it was based just on styling? Would you buy the C8 or would you buy the Supra?
Oh, geez. I don't like
the Corvette.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't like the base C8 design because it seems
lot
like
of
the
people
wheel,
don't. Yeah.
the wheel width, the wheels are a little bit inside the body.
Yes.
And I don't like it. I want to feel like it's like a sports car that wants to push its wheels way out and be kind of muscular. So based on that, I would go Toyota. I just love the Corvette performance, I guess, a little bit more, and I fit in the Corvette a little bit better.
Let us know in the comments below. If you had $72,000, right now, which is what both of these cost, would you rather buy a 220 LT3, which means the Corvette's got heated seats, cooled seats, it's got all the options, heads-up display, of course 400, and because it's got the Z51 package, 495 horsepower, I want to say, or would you buy the Supra?
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. What would you do? Well, we know what we did. We bought the Corvette, but
Well, yeah, based on the fact that I'm not fitting super well in the Supra, I would buy the Corvette.
okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Cole? Corvette? Why Supra? He said Supra. He thinks it's cooler. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's a really cool car. And it's also much more rare. Like Corvettes, let's
Yeah, you
face
can
it.
see Corvettes here and
See,
there.
Corvettes are pretty much everywhere and increasing, whereas the Supra isn't. And I think...
And it's going away. I think that's another reason. It wasn't a super successful seller, right?
Yeah, if you can get past the point of it being, platform sharing BMW underneath in some ways, then I think it's fine. Now we did, what did Jordan say there?
Jonathan says, I don't think either is a perfect looking sports
I don't
car,
have my glasses
but
on.
I think Supra is a tiny bit better. So Jonathan likes the Supra as
Sorry,
well.
Jonathan, I don't have my glasses on.
But
so.
we can call you Jordan, right?
I'm guessing at the JO, so I was guessing at the rest of it.
Yes.
All right, well, let's talk about the last drag race we did because it was kind of fun. And we're kind of going into your world now, truck territory. I don't have that one, Cole. So after these first two drag races, we also once again brought back Charlie.
Yeah.
Because he not only brought the record, but he towed something with it. Tell him what he towed.
Yeah, so behind his F-350 towing truck.
Because he's from Texas, just north of Houston.
Yes, he's from Houston area. And he's a huge Ford fan. He owns several Fords actually for work. He has several working trucks like the F-550
He's
trucks.
in the wrecker business.
Yes, and then he has some personal vehicles as well.
Or tow truck, as we say up here in the north.
Tow truck.
Isn't that weird how like we say tow trucks and when you go south they say wrecker?
I've heard wrecker quite a lot as well.
Have you heard it here too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's some people don't understand when you say wrecker because they're like, what is this? But it's because they pick up wrecks.
Yes.
they go out to the accident and
Yes.
they pick the accidents up and
Clear
then
the
they
road.
carrying them away. He brought his supercharged F-150 base model. So this is a shorty. This is a 2-door cab, short bed, 2-wheel drive with a 5-liter Coyote that was supercharged by Ford Performance Whipple supercharger.
Okay, but let's make that clear. It was supercharged as part of Ford Performance by the dealer.
By the dealership.
So you can go and buy a Coyote, a V8,
Yes.
any V8, like ours, like the Tremor.
Yes.
And you can go to your local dealer, and depending on, I guess, your dealer, you can spend around $10K. I think he spent less. I think his was a little cheaper.
He bought it as a whole package, though.
Yeah, so his was lowered.
With different wheels and tires.
Tires
Yeah.
and side exhaust, and then have that supercharger put on, and it takes your horsepower from 450 to 700 and something, which is crazy.
400 to 700.
Yeah.
Which is not quite doubling, but it's a humongous increase in power.
And best
It's
of
insane.
all, since it's done by Ford at the dealer, it's warranted.
Yes. So it comes with a 36-month warranty as far as the supercharger. But Charlie gave me a little secret.
Okay.
Because he was looking into his warranty, and I guess there is a money amount. So let's say you happen to be drag racing your truck, okay?
Who would do that, Andre?
Let's say you're doing something like this, and something happens to the engine, and it's covered, right? So you take it back, but there is only a certain amount of money that will cover. So if it happens a second time, you may not be able to
Your
be
SOL?
covered.
Is that
Yes.
what you're saying?
Well, I don't know what
Come
that
on,
amount.
Ford.
Well, they just want to prevent people from, blowing engines every week, basically, in their truck. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we've been toying with the idea of supercharging our Tremor,
Yes.
and so we wanted to see how much quicker it would be if we did that, and so we did a drag race, and the results are kind of obvious.
The supercharged truck was lighter, although it is 2-wheel drive, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of difficult to get it to hook up when it accelerates, but it ran away with it. You were so far behind me. Well, we'll publish the video next week that I couldn't even see you.
Yeah, and it sounds magnificent because he's got this side dump exhaust that just
By the way,
barky.
it's not obnoxious when it's idling,
Yes.
right? If it's just sitting there at the traffic light or in the parking lot,
sounds like a Harley almost.
Yeah, it just, but not super loud. But once you step on it, gosh, you could hear it like a jet engine taking off.
Now, one of the things that Charlie said, and I don't know if you experienced this, but tell me, he said that unlike the TRX, where you get both the supercharger whine and then that deep exhaust note, it's hard to see the supercharger. It's hard to hear the supercharger. Did you?
That's true.
Were you able to hear it?
No.
No.
And that's the thing with the Whipple Ford system is that it's
Quiet.
But you know what I'm thinking? When things are loud, it usually means there's a little bit of inefficiency, right? When an engine, like a diesel engine, is very, very loud sometimes, when something is quieter, it might be more efficient. So, but we want to hear more noises, right, as an enthusiast. So that's my guess.
Yeah. I love that about the TRX because it had both. It had
Yeah, Cole and I recently did a video with the TRX.
Yeah, that's one of the
Right?
over at all TFL. You were kind of speculating on what the new TRX is because let's face it, it's coming back. We know that.
Yeah, we know this. But I was a little concerned because I was worried that they'll just throw an old Hellcat into an RHO and walk away from it. And I think they need to do more.
Yeah.
Basically. So Cole and I took an existing TRX, and we definitely heard this supercharger. Definitely.
Well, Charlie said he's also going to get a Raptor R, so he's a big Ford guy, obviously.
Yes.
So that one you can also hear the supercharger on because it's out of the GT500.
But not as much as the TRX.
Yeah.
No. Remember, ours
The
was
TRX
pretty
was
quiet.
probably the most superchargy sound there is.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
we're
like you're hearing the inhaling and also the exhaling at
Yeah.
the same time.
I don't think we're going to get another TRX unless there's some compelling reason to. I kind of feel like we've been there, done that, but we don't know. What are you speculating on it? Will they actually, give another? Will they throw another 100 horsepower at it, or are they just going to do what they did with the Hemi, and that's just take it off the shelf, slap it in the 1500, and call it done?
Well, my take, but we don't have final specs.
Yes.
We don't have official specs. That's coming in probably within a couple months or so, maybe 3. My take is that they're going to increase the power, and they will have a special version like from SRT, like direct connection Mopar division. You see what I'm saying? Where they can sell you the base TRX. Let's say it will have more than 720 horsepower because that's the level of Raptor R, right? And then, this is my guess, there could be another one like a red eye version or a demon version of it that will have even more horsepower. We just don't know how far they can push it.
All right, well, in the last few minutes that we have before we wrap it up, let's talk about another car I drove this week, which was the Jeep Wagoneer S.
Okay.
We actually have it here now. Jeep gave it to us for a week, and we have two cars actually. Honda just gave us the Passport Trail Sport as well.
But that's a more long-term review.
So we did a slip test on that. So if you want to see how that did on our TFL slip test, head on over to All TFL. And then I actually went to Chicago. I'll tell you a funny story. I went to Chicago to run a 5K with my buddy Steve.
Okay.
Except Steve didn't really train for it, so we kind of walked the 5K.
Steve, come on.
And I came in 152nd. I think Steve was 153rd. I think we were like second to last and dead last. And I used to do a lot of endurance sports, and I have a hard time when like 5-year-olds like pass me. I'm not even.
Were you using your elbows and?
I was just like because if you're gonna go do a race, you might as well race it. Now Steve did try to run, so we ran the downhills, which was great. So nice work, Steve. But I have figured out that I am too competitive to walk a 5K. I don't even know what my time was. I was so not into it at that
But you
point.
know what number you were out of the
152 out of 153. Yeah.
That tells me that you're competitive.
Yes, I am.
Because if you weren't competitive, you probably wouldn't know that.
But my point isn't to talk about the 5K. My point is that when I was at home, I grew up in Chicago. Jeep was kind enough to lend me the Wagoneer S.
This is the all-electric Jeep.
And so I drove around. It's very good. It's got a good ride. It's expensive. This was the first edition. Same thing, 72,000. All the cars today are 72 in this podcast.
Must be the magic number.
But there's three things that I walked away from that Jeep thinking that the car industry is heading kind of down the wrong track right now. Like a lot of people think that this country's going down the wrong track. I think the car industry is definitely down the wrong track. And I'll give you those three lessons.
Yes.
Okay. Number one, and I think this is obvious, it feels like a $55,000 vehicle to me. And I think that's what they're transacting for. I don't understand how like a midsize.
Can you pull a picture of a Wagoneer S really quick?
I can send you the one we had, Cole. Here. I'll just so you can see exactly the one I had.
So, Roman,
or you could pull the video and do the walk around if you want. You want me to text it to you, or do you want to? Here, I'll airdrop it.
More recent.
It's the most recent EV video we did. There you go. I just sent it to you.
So I agree with you, Roman. At $55, let's say $1,000. Is this you?
That's me. That's me giving the contemplative look.
Is Steve your videographer at this point?
He shot the video.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I like it's kind of blacked out. Once upon a time,
I like the blue color, by the way.
Yeah, the blue with the black. We would have called this a midnight edition.
Yeah.
So once upon a time, I would have said this is a very handsome car. But then I looked at the sticker, and I went on the launch of this, and I literally forgot how expensive they are. And $72,000 is just a boatload of money. Now, what of course makes this unique is that it's Jeep's first, in America at least, all-electric vehicle. So they have an electric vehicle in Europe, but this is the first one that's EV only, unlike the 4xe, which is a plug-in hybrid. This is all-electric.
Exactly.
So 100 kilowatt-hour battery, so a good battery. Just under 300 miles of range. I did plug it in and charge it, and I got at 40% state of charge, I got 178 kW. So it's pretty quick.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad. Then it quickly dropped down to about 100. So that wasn't great. But my first lesson is I think this is a $55,000 car all day. I just don't see. It's not that big, right? It's kind of a mid-size.
It's a two-row.
Yeah, and it also competes with the Model Y.
Yeah,
So
and Model Y you can get in the $50,000 range all day long, right?
And it's more roomy, and I just don't understand the compelling argument. Now, this design, I think this was the last design that Mark Allen did, the longtime Jeep chief designer, and I think it's a very handsome design.
It also has a very cool like rear spoiler.
It does.
Where the spoiler continues, but the roof kind of hides underneath it.
So it makes it look like it's longer and more aggressive than it is.
Yeah.
So lesson number one: cars are just too freaking expensive. And I'm not just picking on Jeep. I'm picking
in general
and I'm
too.
not just picking on electric cars. Just every car is just like it used to be 10,000 too much. We just did another off-road video where we did the
Wrangler X. Rubicon X versus Trail Hunter.
And they were how much?
400. The new 400 Trail Hunter we drove was 69,500, and the Wrangler Rubicon X plug-in hybrid was 78.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, exactly right.
78,000.
Yeah. So once again,
Sticker price.
Used to be 10,000 too much. Now we're 20,000 too much.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can afford this. We're living in crazy times, and I don't know if this is due to tariffs or if this is due to, COVID or chip supply or whatever the heck it is, or Jeep just jumping too high in this case. But this is crazy. All right, number 2 lesson before we run out of time.
Yes.
Could you go back to that vehicle?
Here we are.
Okay. This is happening more and more. Now, what is Jeep known for?
Off-road ability, capability.
Where is the off-road ability in this?
I don't see it because I don't see a lot of ground clearance. I don't see knobby tires. I see a gigantic wheel with a small, low-profile tire.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like the brands that have stuck to their core competency have done very well because they're special and they're unique and they're, I think, valuable in the consumer's eye. But when you stray away from that, when you start kind of going outside of your lane for whatever reason, then all of a sudden I think it all falls apart. Why isn't Jeep building an electric off-roader or at least an on-roader that can go off-road? This has less than 0. I think that the ground clearance is like 7 inches or something, or maybe even less. It's like 6.5. It's all about aerodynamics. This has no off-road ability. Why is Jeep building a car that cannot go off-road? Period. End of story.
I don't have an answer, but I have a question before you move on to your final thought. Cole, can you look up Jeep Recon EV? Because this is another one that they promised, right?
I think they put it off. I think
Is it delayed?
It's delayed. I think the Recon has been delayed.
Hear this.
So
look at that.
That's like the electric Wrangler.
Removable doors, all electric. It's got capability. It's got tow hooks. Where it needs to be on sale this minute.
Well, I don't know. Look, I don't want to conflate like electric and off-road. I'm just saying any car that Jeep builds in my mind.
Look at this. It's got clearance.
Any car that Jeep builds in my mind should have a little tiny percentage of off-roadiness.
Yes.
Because, and I don't mean to pick on Jeep. I'm sorry if I'm picking on Jeep. It's every brand that's doing this. They're all kind of trying to find their way now. But I think every Jeep should have that Wrangler DNA. That's where it all stems from. That's what people think about Jeep. It is probably one of the most valuable brands in the world.
That's CJ2A.
Yeah.
That's the DNA.
And you know who did that? So Ferrari just built a 4-seater. They've done that before.
Yes.
I call it the Paraseng way. But they went out of their way to make sure that people understood that this was not a crossover or an SUV.
Yeah, they called it like a 4-door car.
Exactly, because Ferrari is, of course, known for building sports cars. And so when they did do a 4-seater, they wanted to make sure that people, whether it is a crossover, I don't know, I don't care. But I'm saying at least they understood that their core competency is sports cars. And if they're going to build something that's outside of that, they're going to try to somehow keep it within the family. Jeep with this thing just completely gave up on any off-roadiness. And maybe there is one coming. I know that there were concept pictures of an off-road Wagoneer S, so maybe I'm jumping the gun. And can you Google that? Can you do like Wagoneer S?
Off-road version.
Yeah, there is a concept one out there that they introduced.
Maybe it was a SEMA concept.
They introduced it.
I think it's the green one.
It's a green one.
Trail.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Yeah, there it is.
There's our buddy Alex.
Hey, Alex. So
Trailhawk.
Trailhawk. Yeah. So do. Let's get a picture of it. Not that I don't want to see Alex. Good friend of mine, but I'd rather show you the Jeep. So do Wagoneer Trailhawk. Yeah.
Here's the first story, I think. Oh, there it is. Aha! Is more aggressive tires, a little bit more clearance. This should have been first.
Yeah, this should have came out first. Exactly.
Yeah, this should have been first.
Yeah. So this should have been first because that to me is a Jeep. The thing that they came out with is not a Jeep. And I think we're running out of time. And Tommy wanted me for a second.
Is he waking up now again from his nap?
Yeah, he's yeah. So.
Thank you, Tommy.
I think he's done. And the last thing is, can you get a picture of the inside of the Wagoneer S?
I'm guessing there are a lot of screens, Rowan. That's what I'm guessing.
You got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Take a look. Yeah, can we make it a little bit bigger here? Yeah, lots of screens. There's a center screen. There's a screen below to control your infotainment system. There it is.
There's a passenger screen.
Passenger screen.
So
was Steve using his passenger screen when you were driving?
He tried, but there's no. I mean, just use your phone. I would say, we are at peak screen right now. And the new Porsche Cayenne, it's all screen. And I just did the Porsche Macan EV, too many screens. Just manufacturers, once again, not just Jeep. I'm just picking on you because this is the one I had.
Just Porsche too.
Porsche too. Just knock it off. People hate screens. What is it? I was sitting at the bank today, and I was listening to it. They had this car doesn't even have that many screens. There was a guy talking to another guy, and I was waiting in line. The guy had a brand new Land Cruiser 250, and they were just talking about it. And one of the guys who owned it was a little bit older, and he's like, I can't figure out the screen in this thing. He said, I can't see the number. Everything's too small. I can't. People hate screens. What is it about that concept that manufacturers, and this is a Roman rant, I feel it coming on, Andre. What is it about that concept?
I think we're done with this episode.
No, seriously. What is it about that concept that you manufacturers don't understand? People hate screens in cars. They're not intuitive. They're hard to use. They're way too complicated, way too many nested. In this Jeep, for instance, two things happened which were super annoying. First, and it took me a while to figure this out, I would drive, and all of a sudden I'd get this beep beep, just a beep beep. And
I hate beeping in
two
cars.
Beeps. And I looked on the screen, and there was nothing. Nothing showed up. It did nothing.
Were you on the highway or
I was
going fast?
No, I was going through a stop sign, through a light. And beep, beep, and I had to turn and go through it again. And then eventually I was like, oh, hold on. It's warning me about the speed light camera.
Okay.
But there was nothing on the screen that said anything. And had I not been in a Stellantis vehicle before that has that warning, I would have known what that was.
And there's not an easy way to turn it off.
There's not an easy way to. You got to go into the navigation, and then you got to find the screen that says turned off. And it's just freaking annoying. The other thing that it would do, which is also annoying, this is something else that is another rant, is it had auto hold, but every time you cycled the car, auto hold went off. So basically one pedal driving, push the auto hold, but every time you turn the car off, it was back to default to zero. So people hate screens, and then when you set something in a car, don't turn it off. And I know a lot of this is because of fuel economy.
Or regulation maybe of some sort.
Or engines come back on, right? But just...
It doesn't have an engine.
I know. If I push a button, that means I want it to stay off or I want it to stay on. And yet when you cycle it, it goes back.
It returns to default.
Yeah. So why? I think we're at max screen at this moment in time, and I'm hoping that we're going to go...
I know why screen.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
It's cheaper to make because you can have multiple functions in one screen versus 100 different buttons. It's cheaper to make.
When the Mercedes-Benz
Hyperscreen?
Yeah, Hyperscreen came out. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was kind of cool. And then quickly I soured on it. And Mercedes-Benz system I know pretty well, so I'm like changing lumbar support. Once upon a time, lumbar was just this little button you would push on the side.
Yeah.
But with the Mercedes, you have to go into comfort, you have to go into your seat, and then you have to, on the screen, adjust how far you want that lumbar to come out, which seems like it would be much more controllable. But unless you know that, it's a huge pain in the ass when you're used to just hitting a button that you can feel on the side of your seat and having the back tell you when you've pushed it out far enough. And this is the problem in a nutshell, Andre. You're not making things easier, And I also don't think that the manufacturers, when they put these screens in the car, are actually driving them. Like the screens are really good if you're just sitting there, but when you're driving, it's incredibly distracting. It's just super.
Well, also hard to pinpoint.
Yeah.
Your hand is moving around when you're driving. It's hard to pinpoint.
I don't understand in like a market-driven society. The other thing that these two guys were arguing about the Land Cruiser is that they said they absolutely hate the driver intervention, like the one where it either vibrates the steering wheel or it yanks the steering wheel out of your hand. I don't know anybody, and I know a lot of people who drive cars who likes that.
I don't.
Do you like it, Cole? Do you like it? Have you driven it? Where you
steering wheel corrects for you.
Yeah. It's
specifically. We have highways on the way to the ranch where bicyclists are on the side of the highway. So you have to cross sometimes over the yellow or double yellow to avoid a bicyclist. And the car doesn't know this. And it tries to yank your steering wheel out of your hand into the bicyclist.
Yeah.
No, that's not good. No.
Yeah. And so I've never been in a position where manufacturers or designers, for that matter, another one, of course, is door handles that pop out. The fallacy is that, if they pop out, they make the car more aerodynamic when they're in. But the number is so negligible that it's almost meaningless in terms of fuel economy. So the only reason that people are doing that, I think, is because designers like the clean look of it. It looks clean. It has nothing to do with fuel economy, nothing to do with aerodynamics. And of course, when you have these electronic door handles, when the power goes out, they fail, and then if you don't know where the release is, and let's say you're a 5-year-old, bad things happen. Mm-hmm. You're trapped in the car. There's videos of people having to smash the glass out of, like the Tesla Model Y is one of them. They said they would redesign it. And the crazy irony is that it wasn't even our government that got down on Tesla for that. It was the Chinese government. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are so far down this rabbit hole now where there is so much that is being designed and done that people absolutely hate, that I understand. People say that the reason that used cars are more valuable than ever is because the high cost of new cars, right? That used cars follow new cars, and I'm sure that's market, and that's true. But I think we're getting to a point now where people specifically are avoiding new cars because the technology has gotten, and the design has gotten so out of hand that people just want a car that isn't annoying to drive. They just want to be able to get in a car and go to work and listen to their podcast or listen to the radio without having to Google how to, put the car in gear. I don't think I'm that far off.
No,
Andre.
You're not. And that's going to drive the used car prices up too.
Yeah, because people are like, I don't want this crap.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for spending
an hour
on
that
with
rant.
Us. Yeah, on that rant. I tried to save my rant for the end.
You did.
Because if I get too ranty, I wind myself up and then I can't unwind myself.
Okay. Well, join us next time.
Yeah, and thank you for taking Tommy's spot. Yeah.
Yeah, but Tommy will be back.
And remember,
if
you want to watch any of these videos we talked about, head on over to All TFL because we're publishing the Supra versus Corvette video this weekend. We're publishing the classic Jeep versus TFL Mudhole this weekend. And on truck, what are we publishing on truck, Andre?
Well, we have a different drag race. So the drag race we mentioned about supercharged vehicles is next week. This week, it's not a drag race. It's a Denver 100.
Yeah, we're doing a Denver 100.
Yeah, MPG testing.
Yeah, we did a video where we put the F-150 up against the
heavy duty.
Yes.
Diesel versus gas.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that.
Which one gets better fuel economy?
Diesel usually does better, right?
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
For all of us diesel fans. All right. See you guys next time. Ciao.
Okay.